I remember the exact day it hit me. It was a Friday evening payday. I opened my banking app, expecting relief, maybe even a little excitement. But instead, I felt this sinking feeling in my chest. After rent, transportation, food, and a few bills, the numbers didn't lie. I was working hard every single month just to stay exactly where I was. No progress. No freedom. Just motion without movement. That was the day I realized my 9 to 5 would never make me rich. At first, I didn't want to believe it. Like most of you, I grew up hearing, work hard, get a good job, and everything will be fine. So I did. I studied, I applied, I showed up early, stayed late, and took on extra tasks. And for a while it worked. I got promotions, a better title, and a small salary bump. But every raise was followed by a new bill, a new responsibility, or something unexpected that ate it all up. It felt like money had this invisible magnet pulling it away from me. I started wondering, if I'm doing everything right, why am I still not moving forward? The turning point came one morning during my commute. I was sitting in traffic, watching people rushing to work just like me, faces tired, eyes empty, coffee cups shaking from exhaustion. And for a split second, I asked myself a scary question. What if this is it? What if I'm stuck in this loop for the next 30 years? That thought sent chills down my spine. Because deep down, I knew if I didn't change something, nothing would change. That evening, I started searching online. How to build wealth. How to escape the 9 to 5. How to make money work for me. I wasn't looking for shortcuts or get-rich-quick schemes. I just wanted freedom, the kind of life where you don't have to count down to payday just to breathe. And that's when I realized something schools never teach us. The 9 to 5 is built for stability, not for wealth. It gives you just enough to survive, but not enough to be free. Let me explain what I discovered. When you work for a salary, you're trading your time for money. But your time is limited. You only have 24 hours in a day. That means your income is limited too. Even if you work harder, you can't multiply time. The wealthy, on the other hand, do something completely different. They trade systems for money. They create assets that work even when they're asleep. And here's the painful truth. I realized that as long as my income depended solely on showing up every day, I would never be free. I wasn't paid for my value. I was paid for my hours. And the moment I stopped showing up, the money stopped too. That realization stung. Because I had spent years chasing stability, without realizing stability was the very thing keeping me stuck. But here's where the story shifts. Instead of quitting my job immediately or blaming the system, I made a decision, one small but powerful decision. I was going to use my 9 to 5 to fund my freedom. I started treating my job like an investor, not a prison. My salary became seed money for something bigger. I cut unnecessary spending. I started saving intentionally, not just saving to feel safe, but saving to build. I used my weekends to learn, not just to scroll. I studied how money actually works, how investments grow, and how people build income streams outside their jobs. And slowly, things began to shift. At first, I made mistakes. I tried a few side hustles that failed miserably. I invested in things I didn't understand and lost money. But each failure taught me something my 9 to 5 never could. How to think like an owner, not an employee. And the day I made my first $100 outside my paycheck, something changed inside me. It wasn't about the amount. It was about the proof. For the first time, I had made money without waiting for payday. And that's when it clicked. Wealth isn't built by working harder. It's built by working smarter. So when people say, don't quit your 9 to 5, I agree. But what they don't tell you is, don't get comfortable there either. Your job can fund your dreams, but it can't replace them. You need something that grows even when you're asleep. Something that pays you because you created value, not because you clocked in. That could be a small online business. It could be digital products. It could be investments. It could even be content creation like this, where your knowledge becomes your income. The point is, you can't rely on one paycheck forever. The sad truth? Most people never realize this. They spend their best years working for someone else, stream, and only start thinking about their own when it is almost too late. But you don't have to wait for that. If you start learning, experimenting, and building something small today, your future self will thank you. Because one day you'll wake up and realize you no longer depend on a job to survive. You've built something that works for you. And that's the real definition of wealth freedom. If you've ever felt stuck, exhausted, or like your paycheck disappears the moment it arrives, just know this. You're not broken. You've just been playing a game designed to keep you comfortable, not free. But once you see the truth, you can't unsee it, so don't quit your 9 to 5, use it. Learn from it. Build beside it. Because the day you realize your job won to make you rich, that's not the end of your story. That's the beginning of your freedom. If this message hits you deep, take it as your sign to start today, even if it's small. Like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories about money, mindset, and freedom, because your future self deserves it. See you in the next video.